Well, now we have an example of why bipartisanship is a bad thing. Check this out. Now, a bipartisan group of representatives just recently voted in the House to tweak Dodd-Frank. Now, tweaking is another code word for they're gutting it. All right, so first, let me get into some of the specifics. Now, the name of the bill is the Swaps Regulatory Improvement Act. Now, just take a second to absorb that Orwellian name, right? The Improvement Act. Well, it's improving it for somebody. Now, I'll get into what it does, but first, I just wanted to note that 70 Democrats voted in favor of it, and all but 3 Republicans. Now, that's a surprise. 3 Republicans voted against it. Well, who are they? Just in case that anybody was kind of curious, it's Representative John Duncan from Tennessee, Walter Jones from North Carolina, and Thomas Massey from Kentucky. So those are the only 3 Republicans that voted against this thing. Now, what does this bill do? This bill repeals a provision in Dodd-Frank that requires big banks to move some of their derivatives trading into separate units that are not backed by the government's insurance fund. Now, do you understand what that means? So now we have to move, if you're a bank, you have to move some of your accounts out of the FDIC. Okay, so when your investment fails, or if it fails, it's not covered by the FDIC, so that means the taxpayers will not have to bail you out. Now, that's a good thing, because it protects taxpayers from the banks using their depositor money as a casino, and then getting bailed out later when their bets go bad. Well, as I said, a lot of people in Congress really didn't like that. Now, it's also bad because it also deregulates derivatives. Now, derivatives trading, that helped crash the economy back in 2008. Not only that, but Dodd-Frank to begin with was weak. It didn't even regulate all the different derivatives trades. I mean, that's bad on its own. It was already a weak sauce bill to begin with. Now it's even worse. Now it's even more deregulated. So we're pretty much getting back to not having any regulation at all in these big banks that have gotten even bigger since we bailed them out last. And not only that, but derivatives trades have gotten even bigger. Well, how big are they? According to an article in Think Progress, in 2010, the value of all derivatives was equal to 23 times the world economy. Now, how much is that? That is $1.4 quadrillion. Just think about the enormity of that number. $1.4 quadrillion. Derivatives, they are a time bomb. They are ready to go off. They could go off at any time. And if they do, massive economic collapse. And here we are, deregulating derivatives again. Have we learned nothing? Well, the taxpayer has learned something. And they've learned that when something goes wrong with these derivative bets, they're on the hook for the bill. The bankers have learned that they can do anything that they want, as long as they purchase politicians in order to pass laws for them. Why would the House vote to repeal this really important provision? Well, it turns out that everybody that voted for this, including the 70 Democrats, had actually received campaign contributions from the financial services sector. Of course. Of course. Now, mainly, a lot of them got contributions from Citibank for this specific bill. Now, according to the New York Times, Citigroup's recommendations were reflected in more than 70 lines of the House Committee's 85-line bill. Now, Eric Lipton and Ben Protess write, and these are New York Times writers, quote, two crucial paragraphs prepared by Citigroup in conjunction with other Wall Street banks were copied nearly word for word. Lawmakers changed two words in order to make them plural. This was written by the banks for the benefit of the banks, and then they bought politicians in order to introduce and pass this thing. This is how our Congress operates now. This is how politics is played now, with big money. Writing a bill word for word and then handing it off to their lackeys in Congress. How much money did Citigroup give these politicians? Well, and who? Well, according to OpenSecrets.org, which is a great place in order to get campaign contribution information, Citigroup has given over $500,000 to current members of the House of Representatives. Now, Representative Jim Hines of Connecticut, he's a Democrat, by the way. He has received $66,450 from Citigroup. That is more than any other member of the House of Representatives. Oh, look at that. Hines is a co-sponsor of this bill. I wonder if some money had anything to do with this. You think? Other co-sponsors of this bill have received, on average, 16.8 times more money from Citigroup than of members of the House who have not signed on as co-sponsors. I wonder why. Could it be that this Congress is bought? Could it be that since we don't have any laws preventing big corporations from giving massive donations in the form of campaign contributions and giving to PACs, could it be that because we don't have any regulation on all of this money flowing into Congress from big corporations, we don't have any that we're going to get stuff like this? This is what we get for allowing money in politics. This is exactly why we have to get money in politics out. Speaker of the House, John Boehner from Ohio. Now, he has received, get this, $917,500 from interest supporting this bill. That is more than any other member of the House of Representatives. And you wonder why they spend 4 hours a day on the phone begging for money. And you wonder why we get legislation like this that could literally blow up the entire economy of the world. Not just America's, but the world. Remember, $1.4 quadrillion. 23 times more the entire world economy in these derivatives trades. When are we going to stop this? When are we going to get the money out of politics? And you know what? I have the perfect place for you to go if you want to get money out of politics. It's called wolf-pack.com. Go there, sign the petition, donate, become a member, help out in any way you can, spread the word. Because as long as we have money in politics, our entire economy sits on the edge of falling off the cliff. So we got to do something. We got to get the money out of politics, or else we're going to continue to see legislation like this going through the House, and we're never going to win on any issue. I mean, look what happened when we tried to do just a tiny bit of bank reform in the form of Dodd-Frank. They keep watering it down, and these pro-banker Democrats and Republicans will look at it and say, well, we passed historic reform. Look at what we did. We regulated the banks. Except they've been chipping away at it ever since. So we got to do something. We got to get the money out of politics. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and share with your friends. If you want to see more, go to our channel at youtube.com/TYTNation. And if you really want to support the show, support this channel, go to our fundraising campaign at www.patreon.com/TYTNation. The website is in the description below. Thank you guys, and keep watching.